Good day, everyone. In this video, we will familiarize ourselves with the inert gas flow diagram. So basically, before we start this diagram, a brief introduction to inert gas. What is inert gas? So for to understand inert gas, we have to understand the fire triangle. So if you see the fire triangle, there are four sides in a fire tetrahedron. Actually, it is not a triangle; it is a tetrahedron. There is four sides. One is a combustible material, the other is a source of combustion, third is the oxygen, and the fourth side is a chain reaction. Now, if you see the tankers, especially the crude oil tankers or product tankers, so basically the oil tankers, inside a cargo oil tank, a fuel is present that is a combustible material. Then static electricity is always present, that is a source of ignition, and the chain reaction is always there. The fourth side is the oxygen or the air, which we can cut. And if we are able to achieve that, then the fire or explosion will not take place in a COT. So basically, working on that principle, inert gas was introduced. And inert gas is basically flue gas taken from the boiler exhaust in which the oxygen content is less than 8%. So it is a gas in which the oxygen content is less than 8% and it does not support combustion. So when that gas is put in the cargo oil tank, it reduces the oxygen content in the tank and fire or explosion does not take place. So basically before loading any cargo, we check the oxygen content in the tanks. It should be less than 8%, and this inert gas is used to achieve that. While discharging the cargo also, we fill the cargo spaces with inert gas so that oxygen content is always less than 8%. And how do we make this inert gas? Inert gas can be made on the ship free of cost because the exhaust gases from the boiler is used to make that inert gas, because during discharging operations the boiler is as such always running, so those exhaust gases from the boiler are used to make that inert gas. Now we'll see the components in the inert gas flow diagram. Now there is a boiler, then there is a scrubber, then there are inert gas blowers, then there is a deck seal, there's a non-return valve, there is a manual isolation valve, there is a PV breaker, there's a PV valve, and the cargo oil tanks. Each has its own functions, and we will briefly see the functions now. And to understand the working, that will take a lot of time, and I will come up with a new video for each component. So the flow diagram goes like this. The boiler is fired. The exhaust gases from the boiler are taken. Here is the flue gas uptake valve, which is opened from the flue gas. From this, the flue gases are passed into scrubber. Basically, what happens is this exhaust gases have a very high temperature and they contain a lot of contaminants such as soot and particles, etc. So in the scrubber, we have the seawater shower, and with the seawater shower, all the soot and everything is cleaned. So basically, this gas is cleaned and the temperature is lowered. Then this gas passes through the demister pads. Basically, these are pads like sponge, which allows only the gas to pass through and the particles are absorbed. Once it reaches here, the blowers are run. This blower sucks this gas from here and it passes onto the deck side. On the deck, when it reaches on the deck, it passes through the deck seal, and from the deck seal, it goes to the NRV valve. And from the NRV valve, it goes to the IG line on deck. And from the IG line on deck, the relevant tank valves are open and the IG passes into the tanks. Now we will see the functions of these things. What is a scrubber? Basically, the scrubber is used to clean the gas, to clean the flue gas and lower the temperature. Blower is used to blow the air to the tanks, and the deck seal is basically has non-return functions. So basically what happens is if the gases from the tanks go back into the engine room, then they might cause an explosion, because when this IG comes back, there will be flammable cargo vapors along with the IG, mixed with the IG, because from the tanks, if the pressure is high on the tank side, then it will come to the deck seal and it might go into the engine room spaces. So basically we have this as a preventive measure. This is a seal. It can be a dry type, is a semi-dry type, or a wet type. What happens is basically there is water here. If the IG pressure is too much and it comes to the deck seal, then this IG will push the water, and then water will act as a sealant, and it will not allow the IG to go back into the hazardous spaces. And similarly, there is another additional feature known as the NRV. What happens is this NRV has a flap inside. It allows only one flow of the IG from the engine side to the deck side. If the gases flow backwards, there is this flap here which closes, and it does not allow the flammable gases to go into the machinery spaces. So basically these are two known return devices what we have on the tanker ship. Then there is a PV breaker here on the IG line. This PV breaker is used to control the pressure and vacuum in the tanks. If the pressure exceeds a certain level, then this PV breaker will function and the gases will be released from the PV breaker, and the gases pressure inside the tanks will be released. If there is vacuum inside the tanks, then again the PV breaker functions and it sucks in air from the outside space, and air is taken inside the tanks, which reduces the vacuum. Similarly, we have the PV valves. This is a requirement by the SOLAS and also by the SIRE, that there are supposed to be two venting requirements for each cargo oil tank. That can be, the primary has to be a PV valve, the secondary can be a second PV valve, or it can be an alarm system. So what the PV valve is basically a pressure vacuum valve. So if there is excess pressure inside the tank, the pressure side lifts up, the pressure is released. If there is vacuum, the vacuum side lifts up and it sucks in air, and the pressure and the vacuum inside the CO2 cargo oil tank is controlled. All the area on the ship is divided into two parts. One is the non-hazardous area and one is a hazardous area. Basically, the hazardous area is the area, cargo working area, which is mainly the deck, and the non-hazardous area is basically the machinery spaces, because in non-hazardous area it is purely the inert gas or the flue gas which is present, which is not flammable. But on the hazardous area there are flammable gases present, and if this flammable gases, if mixed with the inert gas and flow back into the machinery spaces, they might cause fire or explosion. So this is the normal functioning of the inert gas, and this is the flow diagram of the inert gas. Now if we need to gas free the tanks, then we need the blowers to be operated for gas freeing mode to take in fresh air. So we have the fresh air inlet here. So we close this flue gas uptake valve is closed. There it is a valve here which is closed, and there is a valve here for fresh air inlet which is open. This is open and the air is sucked in by the blowers, and then it is put into the tank. This is basically fresh air and it is used for gas freeing the tanks. Now the blowers, they have specific requirements. The capacity of blowers, either of one or either of two combined, should be more than 125% of the maximum discharge rate of the vessel. The vessel can have one blower or two blowers. If the vessel has one blower, then it is supposed to have 100% space for that blower. It might have two blowers. If they are of a different capacity, not up to the requirements, then both are supposed to have 100% space. And if one of them or each one of them is meets the requirements, then the spare parts are not required because there are two blowers. So basically this is the inert gas system flow diagram. From the boiler it goes to the scrubber, from the scrubber it goes to the blower, from the blower it goes to the deck seal, from the deck seal it passes to the NRV, and it passes in the IG line and to the cargo oil tanks. There, after the NRV, there is a manual isolation valve. This manual isolation valve isolates the hazardous and the non-hazardous spaces. So basically there are these additional features. So even if one system fails, there are other systems in place to control the flow of flammable gases back into the hazardous spaces. Inside the deck seal also, we have demister pads because it is filled up with water. So once the IG goes through the water, it goes into this line to the deck. But to absorb the moisture from the inert gas, there are demister pads similar to what is present in the scrubber. Similar demister pads are here in the deck seal also. Now, all the functioning on the structure design of this deck seal, PV breaker, and scrubber cannot be explained in this video because it will become too long. I will make another video to understand the functioning of the deck seal, the NRV, the PV breaker, the PV valve, and the scrubber. Okay, now thank you for watching the video, and if you find it useful, then please subscribe my channel, and you can comment and let me know whether it was useful or not useful. My channel name is Master Mariner Amit Sangwan. Thank you for watching the video.